A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. It's the last one for the week. We'll make it worth your while. I'm Yemi Adebayo. We're still going to be talking about the Africa Cup of Nations. 2 matches left before the end of the competition, the third place and the final. You already know the teams that will be vying for, of course, the top prizes. Talking about the gold, silver, and the bronze. Nigeria in the bronze category. Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on the Pharaohs of Egypt tomorrow for that bronze medal match. All right, and of course we'll do our best to talk about everything with regards to the fans, the journalists, everybody, perspectives on the show tonight. We will also spare a thought for the English Premier League. We will also forget to talk about what's happening here on the domestic scene, talking about Nigeria Premier Football League. That's the outlook of the show today. We urge you to sit back, relax, even as we take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. All right. On the show tonight, we'll be having a few of our guests also sharing their perspectives with us when they're ready. I will be bringing them on the show tonight. All right. But just to quickly, all right, Babajide Oreva is with us on the show. Babajide, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Oh, once again, you can imagine we could not just get to the final. I feel for us Nigerians, when you've played the third place for as much as having the record of winning it 8 times, then the final is what we actually wanted. But it's happened, it's football, then we have to try as much as possible to win the third place against Egypt.
All right, so we're going to be going into the AFCON segment. So what we're going to do is to take a breather. You see us on the other side. All right, just for us to feel the pulse and see what went down in Morocco for the semi-finals. Reactions still trailing what happened in that third place game. Let's quickly view a report put together by a man on the ground, also Okon Akpan, with regards to the immediate reactions after Nigeria's loss to the Atlas Lions of Morocco.
The city of Rabat is buzzing. The people cannot wait for the final of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. And the Atlas Lions of Morocco did just enough to reach the final after beating Nigeria 4-2 via penalties in the semi-finals. Look, so much talks have come out of that game. Coach Eric Shell, his knowledge and understanding of the game, players' execution, the officiating, referee Daniel Larry from Ghana, all sorts have been said about him, the Confederation of African Football, and what they're doing to properly manage the game. But hey, these Moroccans don't care. They're just excited that their team made it to the final of the AFCON, and on Sunday they'll get a chance to go out there and see if they can win the title. Right after the match, I caught up with some sports analysts. Nigeria versus Morocco. What are the major talking points? Listen.
Well, it was a very close-up game between the two nations. Nigeria demonstrated why they are known as Giant of Africa and why many people tipped them to go ahead and win this one. But unfortunately, they couldn't get it. A penalty is a game of anybody, and it fell to the side of Morocco. Despite all talks about the referee, which I personally also feel that the referee wasn't just up for the occasion. I wouldn't want to agree that he was paid or anything was said to him. But I just feel that he's not competent enough to be at that stage in African football. So it was a good game, but I feel that Nigeria can pick up themselves, and the boys go up against Egypt. Thankfully, or should I say, they had it in plan already that they're going to meet Egypt. They played a friendly match before this tournament started. This time around now, they'll be playing in the third place match in Casablanca
I'll be looking at this game and, does it call for questioning on football administration and management in Africa?
Yeah, definitely. One thing I would say is definitely leave politics out of football. It feels like everybody wants Morocco to win. The players felt that they were cheated with the officiating in the game. Even I spoke to Bartosai Samuel after the game, and he said that poor officiating, in his opinion, and a lot of journalists also shared the same sentiment as well. So I would say if you leave politics out of football, appoint the right officials, and maybe that way you can have the fair game. Football is a team sport. It should be promote unity, and it should use politics to promote all of that, not divide.
I think it was a bit of what I anticipated and a bit of something that I have never seen in my life. Anticipated it because I saw something similar just 6 months ago when we played, when I say we as a Nigerian, when we played the host nation in the finals of the AFCON. Maybe not a crowd of this magnitude. It was a 22,000 capacity stadium just beside this one where we're in right now, and seeing it again today. So I anticipated the hostility, the kind of atmosphere, and yes, and then it was good to be in the stadium. I mean, it's an edifice. You agree with me?
I thought both teams cancelled each other out, although the 50-50 calls I felt was going towards them, and the referee could have done better in some aspects of the game. But we didn't lose the game on penalties due to the refereeing performance. I thought, like I said, there was a balance there. Both teams cancelled themselves out. Little goal-mount action from both teams, but penalties, the one is a lottery, missed two. Congratulations to the team. The boys should hold their heads up high. And for the boys that missed, it can happen to anybody.
The Nigerian team, during even us in French, from the beginning of the competition, we would say that Nigerian team is one of the biggest team of this African Cup of Nations. That the duo Lookman and Osimhen is one of the best duo of this Africa Cup of Nations. I think they were here. I was expecting them to be even more pressuring against the Moroccan team than they actually were tonight.
To be sincere, the Super Eagles didn't have a good game. The Moroccans dominated the game, but there were some questionable calls from the referee, which majority of fans couldn't agree with. Some said the referee used his whistle to demoralize the Super Eagles players. But there are a lot of positives to learn from it, and it also shows that Eric Chell doesn't have a plan B, because if there had been a plan B in place, maybe the game would have triggered in the advantage of Nigeria. But unfortunately, I think that's one area Eric Chell needs to work on. A plan B would actually do a good favor to Nigeria in case they face this kind of matches in the future.
Different perspectives from the game between Nigeria and Morocco. The Super Eagles will not play in the final, but all of these talks will probably shape the team, particularly in getting ready for the next AFCON. The final match will be between Senegal and the host Morocco. That will be a tough game of football. I cannot wait to see what will go down at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium right here in Rabat. The people love it. They cannot wait. And if you say, oh, Nigeria, they love it when they see Nigerians. But hey, the Super Eagles, it wasn't just their day to make it to the final. They will travel to Casablanca. That's where they will take on Egypt in the third place match. And at the post-match conference, Coach Eric Shell said they have to win that match. I love the mentality. We'll see what will come out of that one. In Rabat, Austin Okonakman, Channels Television News.
All right, that's it. A very good report put together by our man on the ground, Austin Okonakman. All right, match details on your screen, and that's our next port of call. Of course, the third place match, that's tomorrow's game. Egypt taking on Nigeria. The time is 5 p.m. The venue is Stade Mohammed 5 in Casablanca. That's where the game will be played. All right, let's bring on IoT Ogala on the show tonight. IoT, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us. Of course, behind me is, of course, the head-to-head. Let me quickly run that before I bring Ayo in. Of course, we played 24 times against the Pharaohs. Nigeria winning 8 times, and Egypt winning 9. The North Africans do seem to have an edge, upper hand over the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I mean, And some of these matches have been won a long time ago. Head-to-head at the AFCON. Of course, that seems to go in Nigeria's way. Egypt has won twice. Nigeria has won 5 times. So you could understand that they've built this head-to-head probably because of the matches played in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But in recent years, I think Nigeria has clawed away at that superiority somehow. So this is what it is. Nigeria against Egypt at the AFCON, and of course, Nigeria against Egypt overall. This is what it looks like. The big question on everyone's lips is, will the two teams take this game seriously? Will they attach importance to this game, knowing fully well that both teams came to this tournament hoping to win the grand prize, but it didn't turn out to be so. All right, let's go on now and bring on IoT Ogala. I hear he's with us. Greetings to you, IoT. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Yes, good evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me once again. It's a pleasure to be on with you.
All right, let me just throw this one in. I don't want us to cry over spilt milk. I mean, we are probably going to say the same thing about the Morocco game. But do you think Egypt and Nigeria will take this game seriously? From a neutral perspective, do you think we're going to see a good game?
Yes, I do think both teams will take this game seriously. You know, both teams are not getting their ultimate objective, which was to win the tournament. But you have a chance to medal. Nigeria, of course, we know is the most medal side in AFCON history. And it's just something that we always do. There might be a little bit of rotation here and there. Maybe you want to give minutes to some players that haven't played as much during the tournament, or you want to rest some legs before they return to their clubs. But I think that it's a game that's going to be taken seriously. You know, even if you can't achieve what you initially came for, you have a chance to still get something. For some of the players, maybe they've already got a silver medal at the last AFCON, talking about the Super Eagles players. Some of them might have been there when we got the bronze on again at Raw. But for the likes of the, you know, Rafael Onyedikas, the Tochukwu Nadis, you know, the new boys that haven't been at this stage before, this is an opportunity for them to be able to win a medal with their country, and something that they're going to remember for the rest of their careers. Who knows if they'll be here at the next AFCON? Who knows if they'll get to represent Nigeria at the kind of stage again? So I absolutely think it is a game that both sides, you know, even the Egyptians will take seriously. And it should lead to a game of football that will be entertaining for the whole African populace, I think so.
All right. So let me just bring, of course, Babajide into it now. I mean, Babajide, same question. Do you think we're going to see a very high-level game, you know, quick tempo, best from both sides? Do you think so? Okay, so coming into the tournament, you know, Nigeria, Egypt, one of the favorite teams to win the AFCON, but sadly we couldn't get there. But of course, you know, they definitely fight until the end. Of course, the Super Eagles have always done it. We've not lost the third place match at the AFCON, so I expect them to win. I like the fact that Michelle has told the players that no, you need to win it, because definitely, of course, you know, losing to Morocco in that circumstance, because they feel it's very controversial because of the officiating. But however, they feel, oh, now we need to go all out there to just bring something home. Remember, Nigeria is still not qualified for the World Cup, so it means that this is what they can actually present to the fans back home. So hopefully they would win. It's going to be a very tough game. We know the North Africans are very, very tough side, especially for us West Africans. However, I expect to enjoy the good game, and hopefully the Super Eagles should come out tops. All right. We're all looking forward to a very, very good game. All right, let's quickly listen to captain of the team and, of course, the coach, Eric Schell, and, of course, Wilfred Ndidi, talking about the game tomorrow, talking about how important it is for the Super Eagles to win this crucial encounter against the Pharaohs of Egypt.
We have to do a good game. We have to looking for a winning, because we did a great tournament, so we have to come in back in Nigeria with the third place. I have to, if God give me the chance to be this coach after this tournament, I have to bring some player who can. My dream is to have 22 player, and there is no. All of them can be the one and at their position. So there is a lot of work for doing that. So I just want to think about the game in Egypt, against Egypt, and after I will have a lot of time to think about maybe the future, maybe the next team, maybe the lot of things. But now the most important is the game and the players too. We will not play this game against Morocco. Captain not played this game, so we are a group, and some player will have a chance to show what they can do. Yes. Kabin did a great AFCON, but there is some player who can take his position. So once again, I have to find the best way for the team to win this game.
Tomorrow will be a very great game. We don't reach towards the end of the competition, and it was a painful loss on the last one, but tomorrow we'll just look forward to the next one and try to get something out of it. It don't be a great experience for the couple of years, for 1 year now since the manager came, and don't bring the team together. It's not, now the way we play is not about a one-man show. It's not about one person carrying the team. It's about the team. Even since when in come, players where don't go, players where they come in, we have one philosophy, the team. That the team, they're bigger than anybody, and that is his philosophy. And now waiting don't set the standard when don't set for the team, where if any player comes, any new player comes in, he knows he has to adapt to the team standards. So kudos to him. He's really done a massive job for us as a nation.
All right, Wilfred Ndidi, spicing up the conversation with Pidgin English. Let me go to IoT. We're about to go on a break, but I want to ask you something. The coach dropped a cliffhanger. I want to be in charge of this team. I don't know if I will be in charge of this team. You have a minute to respond. Do you think Eric Schell should still remain as the Super Eagles manager?
Yes, I do think he should remain. I think he's set a good foundation. He's laid a good foundation so far. He's been doing a good job. He's brought the team together. The players speak highly of him. And we have another AFCON coming up very, very shortly. You know, if we make changes now, it would be taking 10 steps back and trying to get everybody together again. So long story short, yes, I think Eric Schell should continue.
Now, there's this school of thought. Just do this quickly. There's this school of thought. Some say that maybe in some circumstances, it took along players that he probably didn't know, and that maybe he was forced to take along some players. So do you think in the future that could still be a problem as well?
It's the age-old story with Nigerian football and the NFF, and you know, coaches seemingly not having full control of their squad selection. He definitely took some questionable decisions in terms of players that he selected, and ultimately a team is only as strong as its weakest party. So for me, I think it is something that will continue regardless of who the coach is. We've seen it time and time again. I don't have the solution for that problem, unfortunately.
All right. We'll get back to this conversation because we have to look at all the angles. However, we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll still talk about the Super Eagles and talk about the final. Of course, host Morocco taking on the Teranga Lions. Lions against Lions. Won the Atlas Lions and won the Teranga Lions. So we'll talk about that, and of course talk about the English Premier League and of course the Nigeria Premier Football League. We'll do all of that when we return from this break. All right, welcome back. We're still on the matter, still talking about the African Cup of Nations. Of course, winding down fast. All right, Babajide, let me come to you now. Same question. Do you think Eric Schell is now fully in control of the Super Eagles? Do you think he should remain on the hot seat as the manager of the team?
Okay, so for me, of course, this is just exactly 1 year Shell was appointed to be Super Eagles coach. And you remember how the kind of team he took charge of, and then you see now a very compact side. Whether we like it or not, even though we did not get to the final of AFCON, there has been several attestations to the fact that the Super Eagles of the AFCON 2025 it has been one of the best teams, Super Eagles, Nigerian team we've seen in possibly more than a decade. So it means that, yes, Shelley has done a good job. The only concern is that I hear Wilfred Ndidi explain that, yes, we will need this guy to continue. He also shows that, yes, the players actually want him. And then it's also a message to the Nigerian Football Federation to understand that, yes, we do not want to be going back and forth. Let's stick with this guy. And of course, you could see the brand of football Shelley has brought into the national team. Like my colleague also said here, there is another AFCON coming up in less than 2 years. And we know that, yes, we don't want to just go back and then come back again. I have lots of new philosophy and all that. Shelley has done well. Yes, we understand that, yes, maybe not too experienced for the Nigerian national team, but I can tell he has done a yeoman's job. We lost the game, maybe unfortunately, or I feel it's still controversial, but however, it's been a very good Super Eagles Shelley has brought together. I feel I want him to continue personally.
All right, point noted. All right, so we're still talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'm yet to see anybody say that, look, that they weren't impressed with the Super Eagles, because if you come against the backdrop of a team that couldn't beat Zimbabwe, struggled against Benin Republic, as a matter of fact, lost to Benin Republic, struggled with Rwanda and all those others. Yes. Okay, Rwanda is probably the only team we beat comfortably. So, you know, I'm yet to see anybody say that. But let me go to IoT now. An interesting question I want to ask now, still talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I don't want to call it, if I say delusion or deception, it might be too harsh. But you see, in the last 10, 15 years, after every tournament fails, we say, yes, there are bright spots, we are building a team, and we keep saying, we're building a team. So at this point, now that everybody seems to be satisfied with Eric Shell, can we say we have a team now? Because it's something we have to be serious about. Years back, we'll say, okay, let's not worry, we are building a team. Do we have a team now, or we are still building? In your opinion, IoT, the Super Eagles, is it a team now, or we might still need to build some more?
We do have a team, and we have a good team. However, you never stop putting the building blocks together. You never stop trying to get better. You never stop trying to improve. If the coach spots, or identifies a player that he thinks can improve the current setup, the current team, then by all means that player should be brought in. But for the first time in a while, you can see a clear identity. And that's not to take away from the previous coaches. I remember at the last AFCON under Jose Pesero, we had a clear identity that we played at the AFCON. A lot of people just did not like the identity that we took. But this time you see the team playing an attractive, attacking brand of football, and also looking very cohesive, putting passes together. I also understand the fact that the facilities in Morocco have aided the team looking as good as they did. But I have to say, we have a team. We just need to continue building on it. And that is more reason why I say we should not let go of Eric Shell. Because every coach has their own ideas, has their own philosophy. And if Eric Shell goes, another person comes, the person has to start building his team all over again. So for me, it is not a delusion. It is not, something that we don't usually have. I think we just usually take steps back instead of taking steps forward. And we need to give the coach a chance to keep building upon what he's already done. And then let him take us to the next AFCON. He knows that he has to do better than he did this time. And if he can't, I would understand if the administrators decide to make a decision at that point.
All right. Point noted. All right. Still talking about the Super Eagles. Let me go to Babajide. And probably this is going to be the last on the Super Eagles because we have to talk about the final as well. There's a problem that stared us in the face But the performances of Stanley Wabali at this African Cup of Nations probably did not make us remember at all. But every time it looked like Stanley Wabali was holding his leg or holding his arms, a lot of us had our hearts in our mouths. The goalkeeping situation, it seems we've not been able to do anything yet. Do you think it's a problem?
Of course, it remains a problem. I don't know why. I feel lots of Nigerians are always concerned ahead of a Super Eagles crucial match. That I just hope this is not the game that Wabali will actually cost Nigeria. But we should be thankful. He did very well, and he has done well so far. Of course, you expect he's a goalkeeper. You need them to do those antics to actually calm the pressure of the gameplay. However, this is now one of the things that the coach needs to do. We need proper competition in the goalkeeping department. Yes, of course, not taking anything away from Buzoho or Amasobagi or Basoge, but you need a very good goalkeeper that can actually compete with Wabali for that number one position. Same way with trying to answer your question that you asked for Galati. Eric Shelley also needs to try as much as possible to get another striker, just like, because I feel, yes, we have a team, but I think we have an over-reliance on Osimhen, because it's obvious that all our goals now we always need, even though we always need Osimhen to actually ginger that attack for the national team. So it's still a lot of work to be done. But I can tell you, in 12 months, Shell has done a fantastic job for the national team. We remember what he did with Mali at the AFCON. At the AFCON in 2023, they not really lost to the host Ivory Coast. I remember that goal also came in practically the last minute before they considered the equalizer first. So it shows that, yes, he has what it takes to actually lead the national team. Hopefully, in the future competitions, he can get the desired results for us.
All right, so let's go on now to talk about the big one on Sunday. Pharaohs of Egypt against Senegal. I'm going to go across now. I'm very sure you're going to see it on the screen. The details for the final, the head-to-head, who has the edge? Talking about the head-to-head. How many times have these two nations crossed paths, and what we think will likely happen? While we're waiting for that, let me go to higher T. Let's move away from the Super Eagles and talk about this game. What do you think will happen? A lot of people say it's written in the stars. The signs are there. Morocco will probably win this tournament unless Senegal produces something extraordinary. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, but that seems to be what everyone is talking about.
The truth is, it does look like it is written in the stars. It looks like it is written in the playbook for Morocco to make it to the final and win on home. So we know that they have this huge chip on their shoulders, especially after that 2022 World Cup showing. It is going to be a tense affair. Both sides have not scored that many goals to beat their opponents. Senegal took a Sadio Mane strike that some people thought was a bit controversial because the referee was in the way and moved away last minute before he struck the ball against Egypt. Morocco, of course, beat Nigeria on penalties. So I think it is going to be a closely fought encounter. The Moroccans, we know how solid they are defensively. We know how they can take the game to the opponents as well as if they deem fit. They have a very good coach. The Senegalese side, is a team that I think is probably one of the most talented sides in Africa, close to Nigeria as well. They have a lot of quality players. They have experienced players, Edouard Mendy, Koulibaly, Sadio Mane, players that have been there, done that, won UEFA Champions Leagues, won English Premier League titles, and they have a good crop of young players as well that are coming up. So it is going to be very, very tense. I find it very hard to split it. I think that this is a game that has potential to go to extra time again. I think that both teams have a lot of quality. And ultimately, this might be a game that is won by the coach. I think that whichever coach is able to outwit the other and come up with the best game plan for the match might be the one that eventually takes it. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm a bit sore after Morocco beat us. But at the end of the day, I'm a football fan, and I'm looking forward to an exciting game of football.
All right, you're a football fan, but a part of you We'd love to see someone else win, especially since Morocco beat us. I mean, you might not say that, but that your heart might be thinking that. Let me go to Babajide or whatever. I certainly, I mean, if I want to speak as a fan, if Morocco wins, I would love to see a fair game. I don't want to see a game that is tainted. I mean, and there's nothing you can say that semi-final against Nigeria, even though Nigeria didn't play to our full potential, but that game was tainted. I mean, I don't want to go back to that. But Babajide, your thoughts? Morocco, Senegal. Do you think Senegal can pull off this one? I still think to many people, it will be an upset if Senegal beats Morocco.
Okay, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's going to be an upset. Remember, Senegal will also be without the defender Koulibaly, so it means that it's a lot of work for the defense. It's going to be a tough one. AFCON 2025 has been overshadowed by poor refereeing, and then of course the complaints are always in favor of Morocco. So we know that this could likely go to Morocco, but however, you don't need to take anything away from the Senegalese. They are very compact side. Mane has been fantastic up front there, and of course, both teams have won the AFCON once each. So it means that yes, you expect an explosive AFCON. I hope we will not have another controversial AFCON final. It's unfortunate that this has happened, but however, I hope the referees will actually understand that this is the final. This is the biggest game in African football, and then let the world enjoy it.
All right. So, IoT, before we let you go, I usually do this to our guests on the show. Predict a scoreline for the final.
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot.
Yes, I am.
I am going to go with 1-0 Senegal. 1-0 Senegal. Upsets, the Moroccan fans will go home crying.
Oh, that's a big call. All right. How about Nigeria, Egypt?
Nigeria, Egypt, I'll go 2-1 to the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right. That's a good place to leave it, IoT. I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. Okay. I guess that does it for the AFCON segment. We'll take a breather. You see us on the other side. Welcome back. We're on the home stretch now. Let's quickly talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. The matches to be played on Saturday and Sunday. And of course, I'm going to go across now to reel out the fixtures. Matches to be played on Saturday and Sunday. And it is right here on your screen. Tomorrow in the Nigeria Premier Football League, match day 21. Better Lucianas will take on El Kanemi Warriors. That's on Saturday. But on Sunday, many matches will be played on Sunday. So let's just quickly look at the matches we played on Sunday. And there you have the Kano Pillars taking on Abia Warriors. Bayelsa United up against Shooting Stars. Nasarawa United will take on Niger Tornadoes. Rivers United will take on Remo Stars. The Aba Elephants, Eimba, will take on Barao FC. These are the matches to be played. Still some other matches. Ikorodu City will take on Kwara United. Warriors will be up against Katsina United. Plateau United will take on Wiki Tories. And Kum Khalifat will take on Rangers International. All these matches, match day 21. All right, Babajide, I want to get your thoughts on this. Which of these matches really jumps at you? If you were going to tell somebody to go watch an NPFL game, which one of it will it be?
It's the Rivers versus Remo Stars. You know, Rivers, they are top of the table. And despite the fact that even Remo, they are 13th on the log, you know that this will be an explosive game for the weekend. And let's hope for, I just hope, of course, I understand that the AFCON has overshadowed whatever is happening in the NPFL right now. But I tell you, it's still a beautiful league. I hope the authorities are saying what's happening in other parts of the continent. The weekend will be definitely a big one in the NPFL.
All right, definitely a big one. Many interesting matches to be played I also think Kano Pillars, Abia Warriors will give us something to talk about when we return next week. Very, very interesting matches lined up in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Let's travel abroad without leaving our homes now. Let's talk about the English Premier League and, of course, take a look at the fixtures. There you have it, fixtures for Saturday. It doesn't get bigger. Forget whatever is happening to the teams when these matches are played. The Manchester Derby upon us. Manchester United up against Manchester City on Saturday. Chelsea with a new manager taking on Brentford. Leeds United will take on Fulham. Liverpool will take on Burnley. Arne Slot has been talking about welcoming back Mo Salah when he returns from the African Cup of Nations. These matches will be played on Saturday. Let's also look at some other matches lined up. Sunderland will take on Crystal Palace at the Stadium of Light. Tottenham will take on West Ham United. Nottingham Forest will take on the Gunners, talking about Arsenal. All right, on Sunday, you have Wolverhampton Wanderers taking on Newcastle United. And of course, Aston Villa will take on Everton. These are interesting matches. Well, of course, Arsenal, the Gunners, they're on top of the league, sitting pretty with 6 points. The Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, has been talking about his team, of course, players who are recovering from injury and the likely approach to the game against Nottingham Forest. Let's listen to Mikel Arteta share his thoughts with us on the show tonight.
In certain things, yes, and especially looking at the opponents and the things that we're going to be able to train or we can replicate in those games. And then, yeah, sometimes ideally we want to plan, okay, for this game we think this play could be better and the load, and some of the times it's just impossible and you have to go game by game. But I think we are building very good momentum, and belief comes from performances and the level of consistency that we have shown throughout 32 games already this season. And what we did the other day at Stamford Bridge, it should help us to be very convinced that we have the ability to do that. But the reality is that you have to show it in every game, and there's still so much to happen. But we are glad that we are still alive in the 4 competitions.
I like the last line there, Mikel Arteta. Arsenal still alive in the 4 competitions. So, Babajide, let me get your thoughts. A lot of teams are using this January window to beef up their squad and probably do a few things. First, do you think Arsenal have a team capable of competing on all fronts? They've managed the injury situations well up to this point. So the question is, do you think they have the squad strong enough without bringing in 1 or 2 players? And do you think that they will be able to sustain the momentum?
As we know, the Gunners, they've always been this way, and then in the last few weeks to the end of the league, and then they could crumble. But I hope they can sustain it. Now they've been fantastic, and they look good to win it this time around. It's just we'll be in February. After this weekend, then the 1 more game, we're already in February. So they are just almost there. But tomorrow's game between Manchester United and Manchester City would actually mean a lot. Should Man U beat Man City, then it's a very good one for Arteta's side, because we know City are the team that can actually chase them. Now that Semenyo is back, is in City, you expect a very tough one. But let's take nothing away from the Manchester derby. It's going to be a very big one tomorrow. It's a battle of pride. It's a battle of it's a big one for Michael Carrick. I just hope he'll be able to manage that team, because that's his first game, and he's facing a Pep Guardiola side that are just defeated Exeter 10-0 in the FA Cup. So it's going to be a very big one for both teams tomorrow. It's going to be a very big one for both teams. And then for Arsenal, I think they should actually go all the way this season.
All right, we'll have to wait and see about that one. All right, let's go about Tottenham, a team under pressure, a manager under fire. Talking about Thomas Frank, Tottenham Hotspur manager, he's had to deal with injuries. And of course, another blow to the team. Brazil forward Charleston and a few other players are also injured, and we're waiting to see what Tottenham will do this January window. And they've also had to let one or two players go. Brennan Johnson, for instance. Let's listen to Thomas Frank talk about his team and, of course, preparation for the game against West Ham.
As I said many times, to see if we can improve the squad, but it needs to be something that we improve the squad short and long term. It needs to be that decision. It can't only be for the next 4 months. We need to think bigger picture as well. But of course, we know that we have few offensive players down in that aspect. It's a big London derby, of course, against West Ham with the rivalry and everything, but it's all about us. For me, it's all about us. It's how we come out with energy, positive, forward, adding, hopefully, first half against Sunderland, second half against Villa. If we can do that, then we'll put a top performance out there, and then we'll win the game.
All right, Thomas Frank, saying Tottenham will not rush into the transfer window. They're only going to get players who would improve the team short term and long term. All right, so Babajide, before we go, let's just talk about Tottenham and the situation with Thomas Frank. It looks as if the owners of the club and the fans of the club, they are not in sync. There's a way the owners want to run the club, and there's a way the fans expect. To this moment now, Thomas Frank is getting booed even by his own fans. So, 2-in-1 question, do you think they can make the top 4? Do they look like a serious club?
It's always the same. Remember from the days of Mourinho, and then how you got to the final of the FA Cup, and then you tell the coach to leave. Thomas Frank, if he doesn't get the results this weekend, I think he'll be out. The owners, I feel they are just like the Chelsea owners, where you don't give the results, then you leave. Hopefully, they should make the top 4, but it's going to be a very tough one for them because, of course, you expect the Manchester's, the Arsenal, of course, definitely Arsenal will definitely, hopefully, maybe get to win the league. And then I'm not so sure if Tottenham can make it. But however, I feel the manager will definitely be before the end of the season.
Well, we'll see what happens. You look at Arsenal, you look at Manchester City, Liverpool, that 3. Then maybe the other spot, Aston Villa in the mix, Newcastle in the mix, Chelsea in the mix before you begin to throw in Tottenham. So we see what happens with that one. Interesting days ahead in the English Premier League. I don't know if time will allow us to talk about Newcastle United also. Knocking on the top 4 position, which is where they will like to be. Eddie Howe has been speaking on his team. Let's quickly listen to Eddie Howe. We'll come back to wrap up the show.
My personal opinion, there's a bit of fatigue in the Manchester City performance, whether that was physical, mental, after the 120 minutes. And I know not everyone played those minutes, but that was my feeling having watched the game live and again. Don't think it was us at our physical absolute best, but I sort of understand from the players' perspective the load they've been under and playing under. It doesn't mean we couldn't have won the game, and we were close to doing so, I thought. But I think now it's a case of, between the Manchester City game and Wolves game, to really try and freshen the players up, to try and get us at our absolute best. This is a massive game in our Premier League season, in my opinion. We've built good momentum and we want to continue that as long as we can.
All right, so that's the Newcastle United manager, Eddie Howe, talking about his team. All right, Babajide, Oreva, your parting shot on the show, and make it as quick as you can. Where do you think Newcastle will end on the table this season?
Shows that, yes, money does not buy everything. Even as much as the club is rich, you could see they are struggling in the 6th position. I feel they will actually get into the top 4 before the end of the season. Hopefully, maybe they could actually be at that and then get to the Champions League. And then for my parting shot, of course, it's for back to the AFCON. I hope the Super Eagles will actually defeat Egypt tomorrow to at least give Nigerians something to cherish. at least for some time.
All right, I say amen to that. All right, Babajide Oreva, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, always a pleasure. All right, that's the show today. We do hope you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We urge you to enjoy the rest of the day. You'll see us again next week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.